Okay. All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. You can lower your hand. If you'll keep your voice up so everyone can hear and you can speak into that microphone, but just for everyone else to hear, if you'll state your name for the record.
My name is Philip Hymas.
All right. State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Hymas, how are you currently employed?
The San Antonio Police Department.
And how long have you been with the San Antonio Police Department?
About 6.5 years now.
This is where the courtroom tension begins to simmer. Notice how the prosecutor takes us step by step through the officer's credentials: Marine Corps, military police, then SAPD. On paper, he looks like the perfect witness, disciplined, loyal, and highly trained. But here's the catch. Experience cuts both ways. A jury might think, if anyone should react calmly under pressure, it's him. Which means, if his testimony falters later, that credibility flips and becomes a weapon for the defense. Viewers, keep this in mind. Do you think a decorated officer should be held to higher standards, or should fear level the playing field?
Are you a certified peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your current title and assignment with SAPD?
I'm a patrol officer with North Patrol Daylight Shift.
Okay. And daylight, what hours is it from?
I work from 6 in the morning till about 2 in the afternoon.
Can you describe to the jury just some of the training you underwent to become a law enforcement officer with SAPD?
Specifically with SAPD?
Or do you have prior experience?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can go ahead and start with prior to SAPD.
In 2009, I joined the United States Marine Corps, and I was a military police officer. I went through training for like a police school or a police academy in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And in 2018, I was already out of the military. I had exited, and I went to a privatized police academy. It's called ACOG. And I was 2018 Alpha. And then I chose to apply with San Antonio Police Department and got on in 2019. And I was 2019 Alpha with SAPD.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to position a little closer to the right because I'm having.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So I guess just regarding your experience, you said you were military police in the Marine Corps. You did an ACOG police academy and then an academy of SAPD. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And regarding the academy of SAPD, do you recall how long that academy is?
9 months.
And what kind of things do they teach you?
Everything as a basic peace officer, you come out of the academy with your basic knowledge of how to do your job. And then you move on to your FTO phase, which I'm an FTO now. It's a field training officer. And then during that program, they actually do on-the-job training. And that's where they teach you to apply the skills that you've learned in the academy, your basic skills, and just give you tips, tricks, pointers, how to survive the streets, all those types of things in the field training phase.
Okay. And so you stated you're currently a field training officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so does that mean that you train the officers that are front on it?
Correct. I can get first, there are phases. So there's first, second, and third. And then there's evals, which are evaluation phases. I have yet to have an eval writer, but I've had all 3 phases, first, second, and third phase.
Okay. Now moving on, were you employed as a police officer with the San Antonio Police Department on May 22nd of 2022?
Yes.
And what was your title and assignment on that day?
I was working dog watch. It's NPC, it's North Patrol C shift, which is dog watch, is what we call it. Your hours are from 2200 to 0600. And I was assigned as a 32 section patrol officer. I had an assigned district, which is 3240, Charlie's district. And I had a probationary rider with me.
Okay. And the area that you just described, generally what area is that located in their Texas?
So the 32 side as a whole is 1604 all the way to 35. And then I have a good portion of Nacogdoches to 35. And then trying to think the bisecting street for the two side, but it's a good chunk of the northeast side of San Antonio.
Okay.
And then 3240's district, my specific district was like the O'Connor Nacogdoches area.
All right. And who was your probationary person that was riding with you at that time?
Officer Roland Acuna.
All right. And did you all respond to a call prior to the incident that was your report today?
That night we took multiple calls, but yes, a prior call.
What was the call immediately before the incident that you all responded to?
The prior call that we had responded to was a aggravated robbery of individuals. It was actually two sisters that were held at gunpoint by an individual. They had exited their apartment. They jumped in their vehicle to take off to go get food, is what I remember. And they were sisters from what I recall. And they said that they were sitting in their car trying to figure out what they were going to eat. Some dude kind of just ran up to the car, held them at gunpoint, told them not to move or he would shoot them. And basically he wanted their money, he wanted their phones, and he told them to get out of their car. So they had no means to call anybody. Obviously he stole their phones, but they literally watched the suspect vehicle, which was a white SUV, and then they had like a little red Toyota Corolla. So they watched the suspect vehicle and the little red Toyota Corolla drive off, and they watched it from like their stairwell. So they ran up to their neighbors and they were just beating on the door, asking for assistance, and finally somebody opened the door. They were able to call 911. The only thing different about that call, I try to be a very proactive field training officer. And we had crossed over service sections to take that call. So I actually crossed over to the 33 section. And I talked to the handling officer or the initial officers on scene. And then me and Roland basically took over the call, did our investigation. It was pretty lengthy because we were looking for the suspect vehicle. And then we were just gathering evidence. We had to do the whole CSI portion. I can't remember if detectives came out or not, but it took a while. And then, sorry, my mouth is really dry.
It's okay.
Basically, once we concluded our portion, I told Roland, I said, hey, we're going to search for this suspect vehicles on the way back to the two side. And so I started hitting like local gas stations, local restaurants that are open overnight just to look for these suspect vehicles and then the victim's vehicle as well. And then that's when we ended up back at the church, kind of like wrap up the whole report. Cause again, you have all this information coming at you, from all different directions. And once you kind of get a second to breathe, you find a spot that you're familiar with. And then you just kind of start putting information together. And at that time, I believe Roland was in his second or third phase from what I remember. And that's pretty much where
This moment quietly reveals the heart of the case. Mentorship. Officer Jaimez wasn't just protecting himself. He had a trainee in the car. That amplifies everything. Fear for your own life is one thing. Fear that your trainee might die on your watch? That's crushing. It adds a moral weight to every decision he made that night. Ask yourself, if you were in his shoes, would you react more cautiously, or would you overreact to protect the rookie beside you? The courtroom knows this isn't just a tactical story. It's about responsibility, legacy, and the human instinct to shield those who trust you.
try to teach them to be self-sufficient. So I was driving, passed it off to him. I told him, I said, hey, you know what to do. You know what notes need to be on the report. You know what needs to go into the certain portions of our report writing system. And we kind of just went from there, and he was writing his report.
Okay, and so after you all, for lack of a better word, kind of clear the aggravated robbery call that you responded to, you said you all ended up in a church parking lot?
Correct.
Okay, and was that the Calvary Temple Assembly of God located at 14335 O'Connor Road, San Antonio, Texas 78247?
I believe so. I don't know the address per se, but
Did you write a report on the date of the, or not a report, but a statement on the date that this happened?
so, with an officer involved shooting or an aggravated assault against a peace officer, you're not allowed to be the reporting officer in the report. So you need to have another peace officer write the initial, report for the call. But I did write a supplemental report.
Okay, and would it help you refresh your memory if you have a copy of that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Can you take a look at that for me?
Okay.
Does that appear to be a very accurate copy of your supplement?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Okay, and if you want to just refresh your memory as to,
The address?
yes, that address.
Yes, ma'am, it's the 14335.
Okay, and is that located in Bear County, Texas?
It is.
All right, and so when you arrived at the location, you said that you were driving and Roland was in the passenger seat, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I was driving.
Okay, and do you recall where you positioned your vehicle?
So again, I do remember exactly where I positioned my vehicle.
Okay, where was that?
So within the church, it's a very large property. There's a small church that's basically next to the church, and there's like a lower parking lot. And then the church and the property slope upward, so there's like a small incline. There's the main building, there's a carport, and then there's a side parking lot. Then in the back, there's a little playground with an open field. And there's a pretty pronounced turn behind us. So our thinking, ultimately, we can't hide anywhere or be anywhere from the public's view that they can't see us, like just with plain sight from the street. But I pull into that side parking lot and I do like a U-turn, and I park like almost at the mouth of the incline, and I'm facing outward towards the street of O'Connor. I can see O'Connor, I can see the whole bottom portion of the parking lot. And then also in my rear view, side view mirrors, I can see if anybody's coming up behind me. A few times there's been homeless people that have come out of the woodwork. And then in the lower portion, I can see the street.
And so was this the first time that you and Officer Roland Kuna had decided to park there to finish writing a report?
No, so something on my part is we try not to make I guess like a routine spot. I will say that we use this spot frequently, but it's not like a 100%. If I'm not on a call, I'm going to be at this location. Excuse me, at this location. But we have used it several times.
Okay. And so while you all were parked there, did you have your headlights on?
Not that I recall.
Okay. And were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. We call them black and whites, or that's at least what I call it. It's
Okay.
black, white. It has San Antonio Police. It has police in large bold letters. The actual material of the sticker is like very reflective. So any kind of like light that hits it, you can see it from a good ways off.
Okay. And in the church parking lot, how would you describe the lighting? Was it like blackout or were there light poles in the parking lot?
There's numerous light poles. They have pretty sufficient lighting, and then the side of the church also has lighting as well.
Okay. And so while you all are sitting there in your marked patrol vehicle, what happened?
So like I said, I was in the driver's seat. Roland was finishing his report. I'm sitting there. I have my cell phone out. We're kind of just. I personally don't have my radio on just so they can concentrate. I have my windows down so I can hear. Again, at night, any kind of little noise that you hear, you're gonna ping off on that. You're gonna hear it immediately. So I have my windows down. I'm in the driver's seat. People make fun of me because I sit very far back. but I sit with the chair all the way extended back, and I sit with it all the way to the floor. It's not like I'm riding like all the way back, but I can still reach the pedals and see over the steering wheel. But I'm kind of just observing what's going on around us as he's occupied with the computer. At this time, I hear a vehicle drive by, and then I hear a motor turn in. Like, obviously we know what a car sounds like when it turns into like your driveway at night or something like that. You key off on these sounds. So I hear a vehicle turn into the parking lot, which is a pretty commonplace thing. Somebody will pull into the parking lot, they'll hear, or they'll check their phone or do something kind of random. And then they kind of exit that same driveway again. But anyway, I hear this vehicle drive into the parking lot, and I'm listening, and I hear the engine rev, which again, it's pretty uncommon that somebody's going to rev their engine at high RPM. So I tell Roland, I said, hey, watch this car. I said, I don't know what's up, something's going on. So it drives at a high rate of speed. Its headlights are on. Again, we're stationary and in the church parking lot. So in the military, they tell you that a stationary target is, you're pretty much a dead target. So my first instinct was to put my vehicle in drive and not slam the accelerator, because again, I don't know if this person's lost. I don't know if they're going to come ask me a question. I can't just go. That's the thing about being a police officer. You know things are happening, but you cannot just assume the worst in humanity. You have to give them the opportunity. So again, I'm like thinking in my head, I have to protect myself. So I'm moving, and then I'm thinking about drawing my gun, but I'm like, okay, if they're just going to ask me about a cell phone, I'm not going to just have my gun out. But again, high rate of speed, tell them to be aware, looking at this vehicle coming at me. And again, if I could describe it, I would describe it as jousting. So his vehicle, the little white SUV, is coming at me, and basically slow rolling at him. And I would say within 30 to 40 feet, that's when I see a muzzle flash and I hear a shot. Again, I throw myself.
Here's the turning point. The flash of a gun in the night. Adrenaline floods the body. Time slows, senses distort. He describes it as jousting, two vehicles in a medieval collision course, only now with bullets instead of lances. But here's where the defense will pounce. Did he truly see what he thought he saw? Stress creates tunnel vision. Memory under fire fractures. He swears the muzzle flash came at them angled toward Roland, but in the chaos, certainty becomes slippery. And that's the razor's edge of this case. Was this a clear threat, or a perception born from fear?
Deep in my seat like this, I reach for my gun, because in the academy we do drills where we can draw our gun, bring it over our legs so we don't muzzle our legs, and we try to shoot through the front of the windshield. Again, everything's going 100 miles an hour in your mind. But again, we just got fired upon. I see a muzzle flash. I'm trying to draw my gun. I'm thinking as he's getting closer, or the vehicle's getting closer to me, that I'm going to get ear hole with a bullet to my side of my head. So as the vehicle's passing me, I'm kind of expecting something to enter this side of the portion of the vehicle, or the vehicle passes me. As the vehicle passes me, I don't know if Roland's hit. I don't know if the vehicle's hit. I personally know that I am not physically injured. I don't feel anything at this time. So in my mind, I need to get mobile. So I yelled to Roland multiple times that we need to bail. So I'm yelling at Roland, bail, bail, bail. And we both just jump out of the car. I remember trying to put my vehicle in park, and I thought I had put it in park, but again, I jumped out of the vehicle. The vehicle sped past us, but kind of stopped. And that's when I was like, I don't know what this person's going to do. I don't know if they're going to jump out and continue this ambush. I really didn't know what the heck was going to happen. So again, I already had my firearm out as soon as I had jumped out of the vehicle. And again, I just, in my mind, I needed to suppress the enemy and get him off of me so I could figure out if Roland was injured or hurt, figure out what the heck was going to happen at that point. So again, I engaged the vehicle. I started shooting at the car. At that point, I saw the back windshield, bust out, and my whole train of thought is just rolling at this time. 100%. I'm just worried about him. I don't know where he is. I can't see him. At that point, after I started shooting at the vehicle takes off again at a high rate of speed. Like I said, there's a sharp turn in the backside of the church. There's a playground and there's a fire hydrant. I'm watching this white vehicle just travel at a pretty good speed towards this curb, and I'm like, crash, is he gonna turn? I'm expecting him to turn. Well, he crashes into the curb line and I hear the tire pop. I hear like literally like I've seen accidents happen in front of me where you hear a tire explode. And then literally like the fire hydrant is like basically right there. I was surprised that, this individual didn't take out the fire hydrant. And then again, the car stops again. So at that point, I'm yelling at Roland to take cover. So I'm like, Roland, just hold cover. Ran to the corner of the church park of the building itself. And I knelt down and I took cover on that corner of the building. So I'm holding cover, and then at that point in time, that's when I hear him accelerate again, or whoever the driver was. I hear the vehicle accelerate. It takes off like up and over the curb line, and I hear that like a slapping of a flat tire. Like everybody knows when you have a blowout, you hear that slap of the rubber. I hear that. That's when I finally get on my radio to let dispatch know that we're in trouble, that we were taking fire. And then I remember in my mind, like the emblem as the vehicle was driving towards me, I remember chrome and I remember a center emblem. And in my mind, I registered a Honda Pilot because that's what it looked like to me. So I remember seeing chrome, the emblem, and I'm like, I got to put something out over the radio for a direction of flight, because in the academy, they stress you out beyond belief, and they have somebody run out in front of you, and they say, hey, what did you see? You got to put out information to the other officers that are responding. Excuse me. So in my mind, I saw a white Honda Pilot, said it's going to have vehicle damage, and the last known direction of flight was towards Higgins and leading towards Santa Gertrudis area and Viewcrest. Like, I don't remember the specific language, but that's the general area that vehicle is moving towards.
Now, you explained that you saw the muzzle flash. In what direction did you perceive the muzzle flash? Was it toward you or somewhere else?
So again, time of night, I cannot see the physical muzzle of the gun, but the flash in my view, it looked like it was more angled towards Roland's side of the vehicle.
Okay.
And again, your mind is racing. So at this point, when I see that flash, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not hit, but if it's angled out of that windshield, I'm thinking about Roland, or if he's injured or hurt. But that's what I perceived, that it was towards Roland.
Okay, and earlier you described that you were expecting to take a bullet to the head. And so is it fair to say that you were in continuing fear, even after you had been tossed your vehicle?
If somebody were to be in that same exact situation and tell you that they weren't afraid, I would call them a liar.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as States Exhibits number 11 and States Exhibits number 12. Have you reviewed these?
Yes, ma'am.
And regarding States Exhibit number 11, what is this?
I believe this is a carport video because the church had security cameras. And then this portion right here is going to be the radio transmission that I keyed up and let the dispatcher know what was going on.
Okay. And you've reviewed both of these?
I have, yes.
And States Exhibits 11, or 111 and 112, they both contain your identifying marks, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It has my signature and my badge number, and then this one as well, signature and badge number.
Okay. And are both of them a fair and accurate depiction of the events and transmissions as they occurred on the scene?
Correct. Unfortunately, I did not have time to initiate my body camera or my in-car Coban. At that time, we had the Coban system. Due to exigent circumstances or emergency, I wasn't able to do that. So this is like the only thing that I know that we have. But
This time I'm tendering State's Exhibits 111 and 112 to defense for inspection and offering things.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, States Exhibits 111, 112 is admitted without objection.
Wait, can you give us a
have a
moment,
minute?
Your Honor?
Yes.
Got it. So, no objection.
All right, then States Exhibits 111 and 112 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Granted.
At the time.
my family, my wife was pregnant at the time. That's again, I told you about Roland. 100% worried about his safety and well-being. As an FTO, you take on the responsibility of being in charge of another person that's relying on you to make good decisions, to take care of their safety and well-being, and basically to be a mentor. So Roland was in my mind, my wife at home, and then I also have a son as well.
We can pass the minute, sir.
A defense.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Officer Jaimes.
Good afternoon, sir.
If I ask you a question and I need to rephrase it for whatever reason you don't understand it, feel free to let me know and I'll rephrase it, okay?
Thank you.
So you stated that, I guess, what time did your shift start that night?
I get there early, but roll call is at 10:30.
10:30 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you stated that prior to you arriving at the church, CT Calvary Church, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's the one where that's the church where you and Officer Acuna eventually parked, correct?
Yes, sir.
Prior to that, your call was to an aggravated robbery.
Yes,
Okay, and that one involved a deadly weapon.
correct.
Okay. And you described there were two.
And here comes the defense's scalpel. Did you catch it? The officer first swore it was a Honda Pilot, but the real vehicle turned out to be a Nissan Rogue. In a trial, those small cracks can become chasms. The defense's job isn't to prove he lied. It's to prove he could be wrong. And if he's wrong about the make of the car, what else might he be wrong about? This is how reasonable doubt is born, not with big lies, but with tiny details that don't quite match up. Tell me in the comments, does this slip make you question him?
Two suspect vehicles involved with that call.
It turned into two suspects, vehicles. There was only one initially, and then two suspects. One exited the vehicle, held the females at gunpoint, stole their vehicle. Suspect one drove away in the SUV. Suspect two followed in tow in the Corolla.
Okay. And okay, so it was a Corolla, was the white SUV that was.
So at the apartment complex, the white SUV was the vehicle that brought the two suspects to the scene.
I see.
And then as the females exited and got into their personally owned Corolla, one of the suspects exited and held them at gunpoint, robbed them of their phone, their purses, and the vehicle.
Okay. Was it, and I know you said a Corolla, but is that like a mid-size SUV,
The Corolla?
the Corolla?
No, sir. It's a small compact car.
Okay, was there a white SUV that was tailing anybody?
That's what the females described. The other suspect drove was a unknown white in color SUV.
Okay, so the information that you had was that it would be, that you would be looking for were either that red vehicle or that white SUV?
Correct.
Okay. And, so you're training officer Acuna, and he takes the report, or you're assisting him, correct?
So I'm not assisting him. I'm responsible for him. So his calls are my calls and my calls are his calls. I made the decision to cross over to the 33 section to handle this aggravated robbery.
Because that was one of the types of offenses that you needed to have experience in.
Correct. So as a proactive FTO, you want your rider to be exposed to not the most dangerous calls, but the calls that involve the most exposure to all the duties that we perform within our line of work.
Okay. And you recall more or less what time that call terminated? That's correct. And if you don't know, that's fine. I'm not.
I don't know.
Yes. Okay. And then so, Officer Acuna needs to write these reports, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And then so that's the spot that you know in your head that you parked at previously is at that church.
Yes, sir.
And the spot that we're discussing, it's on top of the hill, correct?
Yes.
And I know you already described the parking lot, but more or less, when you do park, you're facing towards O'Connor Road, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall if there was any sort of like trees nearby where you parked under a tree?
So on the directly to my right, there is a tree that provides like shade in the summer.
Correct.
But it doesn't like completely overhang or like cover us. And I wasn't parked directly under the tree.
Okay. Were you parked close to the curb line?
So there's handicap portions of parking on that side parking lot, adjacent to the church. So that would be to my left, and then to my right would be the tree, and I'm basically almost in the middle of that small little parking lot.
Okay, so you're parked, and then are you parked next to the curb that's away from the handicap spots?
I personally don't do that because it's a trip hazard. If I had to bail like I did, I would have fallen. So I parked in the middle of the parking lot. So if I were to open my door, I would be on the asphalt.
Okay, if you give me a second, Judge.
Sure.
Officer Hyman, I'm going to show you what's been entered into evidence as Defendant's Exhibit 1. Would you agree that's a fair and accurate overhead picture? Thanks. A fair and accurate overhead picture of the church and its surrounding areas.
If you don't mind just pointing to O'Connor, that would help me.
Sure, and let me zoom. That might make it easier too. Okay, I believe is this O'Connor Road,
Yes, sir. Yep, that's okay.
and as you were describing in the daytime, this tree provides a little bit of shade right there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's typically around the spot where you would park if you needed to.
No. I bisect the middle of the parking lot.
The middle of the parking lot? Okay.
So where you were, I parked like literally right in the middle of that,
Okay. So you're parking right in the very middle of that parking lot.
basically.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 2. Read that evidence now.
Correct.
Okay. Do you remember if you stated to the detective that you blacked out the unit?
I don't recall that.
Okay. Would it help your memory to refresh the report?
Sure.
Okay. To review the report? And do you have that in front of you? Has the state already provided that to you?
Yes.
Okay. If you could take a moment, review that and let me know if your memory has been refreshed.
I see it.
Okay. So has your memory been refreshed now that you've had a chance to read the report?
Yes, sir, it has.
Okay. And you told detectives that you blacked out the unit.
On my supplemental report, I did write that I blacked out the car.
Okay. And blacked out meaning turn all the lights out.
Just like, yes.
Okay. And now, if you are parked somewhere in that artery that leads back to the crest, and you're facing O'Connor, as you were in the exhibits that we just went over, you're facing O'Connor. Is it fair to say that the church is kind of at the corner right there, at the corner closest to O'Connor?
Which church?
Let me.
There's multiple churches. I just want to.
No, you're. Like I said, if I ask a confusing question, let me know. Okay. Use your map for
Yes. In states, you may move about.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 8. In this exhibit, we see a building that's on the right-hand side as we look towards O'Connor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that the church?
Is it Calvary Church? Or
I'm
which-
asking you, is that
That is a church building that I know of.
Okay. Is that the Calvary Temple Church?
No, sir.
Okay. Is
Not
there,
that I'm aware of. The
okay,
building that I'm referring to as Calvary Temple is the one that's
One
on my
here.
left,
to your left side?
on the
Okay.
drive.
But in this parking lot, there's two larger structures, correct? There's this building down by the street, and then there's the bigger building.
To my knowledge, those are separate like entities, like the lower portion is like a smaller. In my mind, it's like a smaller congregation, and then like Calvary Temple is like the one that I was parked next to. And then
Okay.
across the other side is like a bigger church, has the same size parking.
Could this be the community center that's part of this church, or
That I don't,
you don't know? Okay, and that's fair.
I've never been there.
Regardless, there's some sort of a structure, whether it's a church building down by our O'Connor Road, correct? Okay. And as you look towards O'Connor, from the top of that hill, you can see O'Connor directly in front of your field of vision, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as you move to the right of your field of vision, O'Connor Road becomes obstructed at some point by that structure,
Correct.
correct? So if vehicles are traveling north on O'Connor,
We're at 6:00.
towards 1604, yes. The first opportunity that you have to view them is after they pass that structure.
Just like it should.
Okay. And so, fair to say also that if you are traveling north on O'Connor Road, you would be obstructed to see where this tree in this area is, because that building would be between both vehicles.
Like I'm driving on it,
If you were driving, yes. If you're driving north on O'Connor.
I can't see it through buildings. So
And I'm just, trying to ask you, so that would be between you, so the first opportunity for any vehicle to see you, and the first opportunity for you to see any vehicle is right after they pass that building.
So when I saw the SUV drive, it literally made a left-hand turn quickly and boom, it's driving at me at a high rate of speed.
I understand that, sir.
I don't know what you're asking. I'm saying.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. So all I'm saying is the first opportunity for that vehicle to be able to look up and see anything at the top of that hill is after they pass that church.
I don't know how to answer your question. I would be assuming for another first. I don't know what they're looking at.
Okay.
But
Well,
if
then
I were making that left-hand turn, I know
right.
exactly.
Then let me ask it to you in that way. If you're driving and you're making the left-hand turn and you're driving north on O'Connor, right?
Correct.
And you decide, I want to pull into this church parking lot, I want to go park up here. The first time you could see where you want to park is after you pass that church down there, correct?
There's a building in a driveway, and as soon as I turn, I can see the whole parking lot.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And so in that exhibit, Defendant's Exhibit 8, we could see the white SUV at the end of, at the very end of the parking lot as it's turning from O'Connor and making a left. Is that correct?
In that picture,
In that picture?
it looked like it was going the opposite way. I don't want to say that it was him or not.
Okay, that's fair. But, okay, regardless, so let's-
Yeah.
the incident itself, you observe a white SUV, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
And it makes a left-hand turn. And at that point, you're on the hill and it's at the lower end. It's all the way at the end of the hill at O'Connor when it's making its left-hand turn.
It's on O'Connor pulling into the private drive of the church.
Okay. So you're at a higher level at that point than it is.
Mhm.
Okay. And you stated that it was unusual that it hit the accelerator and started coming at you at a high rate of speed.
So if I can explain it, when he pulled into the actual physical driveway, the speed at which they were moving caused the headlights to bounce. And that's what drew my attention immediately. And then after the bounce of the entry of the actual driveway, that's when I heard the engine rev yet again. So again, I hear the engine revving, I see the lights on, I see that it's a white SUV, it's coming right at me. That's when I put it in drive.
And so you're evaluating this as a potential threat, correct?
Absolutely, this.
And you attempt to put the vehicle in, you do put the vehicle in drive so that you're not stationary, as you said, right?
Mhm.
And then you hear a gunshot, correct? And you see that muzzle flash that we saw in the states.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so at that point, you hear the gunshot. And in your report, you say that you heard one gunshot, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. As soon as you hear that gunshot, now that registers to you that this vehicle is a threat.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm under attack.
So as soon as you hear that gunshot, you're under attack. Okay. And as we saw in the video that the state entered, we hear a number of gunshots before you fire, correct?
Yes,
Okay. You recall how many you could hear?
one.
Okay. When you watched the state's video?
I heard three.
Okay. And fair to say you have no reason to believe that that's an inaccurate video of the incident.
Me hearing one, I chalk it up to auditory exclusion. And then me hearing it on a regular audio recording and hearing three, that's accurate.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to blame you for hearing one. I think that I think everybody would understand that in that type of a circumstance, you hear the gunshot, you're not trying to count gunshots, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're not trying to say how many, you heard a gunshot.
Towards me, yes.
Okay. And the gunshot, the shots fired were when this vehicle was, fair to say there was some distance between the two of you.
I said it was like about 30 to 40 feet.
Okay. But the vehicle was, the shots came from when the vehicle was in front of you. The vehicle has not reached you to where your vehicle and the white SUV are parallel.
I described it as jousting, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, and I understand your answer, but all I'm asking you is the white SUV was some distance in front of you when the shots occurred, correct?
Within shooting distance, yes, sir.
And when the last shot occurred, it was still in front of you.
From the video, yes, sir.
Okay.
Like I said, I saw the one muzzle flash, heard the one shot, and then the vehicle drove past me and stopped.
Okay. And so you testified that you expected to hear a shot.
I was assuming that I was going to get drilled in the ear with another shot.
Okay. But you didn't, thankfully.
Thank God, yes, sir.
And you agree that would have been, when those vehicles are parallel, that would have been the closest distance between the two of you.
I would agree with that.
Correct. And to your credit, you react very quickly. Correct?
I did my best in those situations.
Correct. Would you agree that you did react quickly?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Bailed out of the vehicle, as you stated, and you fired your weapon at the white SUV.
Did.
The location where the white SUV was when you fired your weapon, the two vehicles were broadside, correct?
When I fired at it?
Yes. Were the two vehicles parallel, or had it just passed you when you began to fire?
Like I said, it had passed me. So if we were parallel, I wouldn't be able to open my door. That's how close he was. So again, like described with the jousting move, he's passing me, passes me completely and stops probably about a car length. So when I exit, I can literally see to my left is my peripheral. Again, I don't have a peripheral, but I know my vehicle is right there. Then I can see the SUV that it stopped. So I was expecting this person to get out with their gun and continue the ambush. So again, I start engaging the vehicle, and then that's when they accelerated yet again at a high rate of speed and crash into that curb line.
Okay. So and I just want to clarify. Did you fire your shot before the white SUV slowed down or stopped?
As I exited, I was already on my gun.
Okay.
So I honestly, it's going so fast. I don't know exactly at what second or moment that I began to engage the vehicle. All I knew is that I needed to lay down suppressive fire again, use lethal force against lethal force because I don't know what this individual is going to do.
I understand, but,
I don't understand your question.
okay, I'll ask it again.
Okay.
So as the vehicle is broadside to you, and you say it passes you, right?
It does, yes, sir.
And then that's when you fire your shots. You begin firing shots.
As soon as I can get out of my car and get my gun properly out of my holster, that's when I began to engage the vehicle.
And when you began engaging the vehicle, you're saying that it had already passed you.
Past me, yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
And after you fired your shots at the white SUV is when the white SUV slowed or came to a stop.
Correct. Well, it's during that. That's what I'm saying. Like, as soon as I saw that he was coming to a stop position, I didn't know what they were going to do. So again, I don't, like I said, I cannot tell you exact moment in time that I began to engage this vehicle. All I knew is that I knew I had to engage the vehicle.
I understand. And so in the what is it? In States Exhibit 111, we see that white SUV go through the screen. We don't see it stop in that video. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And in that video, we don't see your police unit as it's parked, right? We see you kind of roll into the frame because you put the vehicle on drive, as you stated.
Mhm.
And then that's where we see you brake, you hear the brake screech, and then you get out and you fire at it.
I don't recall the brake screeching. Again,
Okay.
I thought I put it in park and I didn't put it in park and my vehicle rolled all the way across O'Connor. So again, things are moving very quickly. I don't know how to answer your questions.
Okay. And as we said, thankfully you were not hit.
I thank God, yes, sir.
Thankfully, Officer Acuna was not hit.
I thank God for that too.
Correct. Your unit was not hit as well, correct?
To my knowledge, it was not.
Okay. The unit rolls all the way down the hill and goes, crosses O'Connor, correct?
I thank God nobody crashed into my car as well.
Right, that as well.
Yes.
And then it crashes over the fence in the backyard.
Yes, sir. There's a new fence there.
And then Officer Acuna, do you recall that after he bailed out, he couldn't find his glasses?
Yes, sir.
And
I was pretty upset.
What's that?
Nothing. I said I was pretty upset.
You felt like you had to kind of carry the load for both of you at that point since he couldn't see.
I understood that Roland could not see, and I thank God that he had the knowledge to hold his fire instead of randomly just firing blindly. But that's what he told me. He's like, I can't see without my glasses. I didn't want to shoot at something that I didn't know was there. So he held fire and let me cover him. And I remember him telling me, thank you. He said, hey, thank you, thank you. And I said, Roland, where the heck is the car? I used colorful language, but I said, where the heck is the car? And he's like, it's all the way down the hill and it crashed across the street. I looked down to see that my car is literally in a fence. And I'm like, okay, we need to get to the car because this guy might come back. I again, as a training officer, I went back into FTO mode and I was like, we need to be mobile. So I don't know if you want me to keep going to my actions, but that's what I told him. We need to get mobile. We need to bound to the car. So I said, hey, you're going to run down there to that corner of the building. You're going to hold tight. And as soon as you get down there, you're going to call me down there. We linked up again. I said, okay. I said, run over to the car, check it out. I said, I know you can't see, but just hold the car. I said, I'm going to run to you. And I said, I'm going to jump in the driver's seat and you just hold cover on the street while I back this thing out. You're going to hop in and we're going to park in the church parking lot because I'm going to light it up like a Christmas tree. So I turned on all my lights and, I could hear my friends, the other officers responding code 3. I could hear their engines. I can literally hear their engines. And that's when my buddy Marcus Lada showed up. And
He was the first on the scene.
he checked us. Yeah,
And I'm sorry, I just have to do question and
That's
answer
fine.
at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you stated that you were the one that retrieved the vehicle because obviously
yeah, Roland
you
couldn't see.
couldn't see.
And I told him, I said, hey, we got crime scene duties to do now. Again, I'm going in that FTO mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he's kind of frantic. He's like, hey, I can't see anything without my glasses. That's one of his priorities at this point.
I wouldn't say frantic. He was collected. He
And
told
that's-
me he couldn't see.
That's fair. Maybe frantic is the wrong word, but that was a priority of his, was to retrieve his glasses.
Yes.
Because
To
you
see.
guys didn't know if there was any possibility of a continuing threat. So without his glasses, he would not be as effective as if he did have his glasses.
100%.
Okay. And so you park the vehicle, and where you park it is,
At the lower
Hey.
level.
I'm sorry,
The lower level.
on the lower level. Okay, facing away from O'Connor. And and you stated that, and we heard that over the radio you toned out that it was a Honda Pilot, correct?
Correct. That's what I perceived.
But you went to the scene and you saw that it was a Nissan Rogue.
Yes.
And fair to say this all happened very fast,
I don't know the exact time, but I know it's seconds.
seconds. correct?
Literally less than 30 seconds, probably.
And so officers arrive and you're describing what happens, correct?
So again, as soon as the officers arrive on scene, I'm pushing them away from where I am, and I know all my shell casings are. I'm trying to keep them out of that.
Right.
And I said, hey, you need to go towards Santa Gertrudis and Higgins area, and you need to start looking for him, because I said crashed. I could hear his tire slapping, so he's not going to get very far. And I remember telling him, hey, just go. We're good. We're good. We're good. Because I already had another officer assisting me. Like I said, Officer Lotta was there. All my other friends showed up and they were asking me what direction to go to, and that's when I just started pushing people.
And so fair to say though that first officers that responded, their primary concern was your safety.
Yes,
Okay, they wanted to make sure you were not hit, that if you might have been hit and just not realize it because of the adrenaline, so they checked you, correct?
yes, sir. Officer Lotta did blood sweeps on both of them.
Okay, and just to verify that neither were hit. So as some officers are arriving on the scene to make sure you guys are okay, support you guys if there's a continuing threat, correct?
Correct.
And then you gave the location of basically the last known direction of the white SUV where it was going.
Mhm.
And some officers went to try to go find that, correct?
Everybody was going.
Okay, but some stayed with you, correct? There were some detectives that stayed with you and some officers that helped secure the scene, correct?
Yeah, I mean, with OISs, we spent up a large, I would say a numerous amount of assets towards the officer that's in trouble.
Okay, what does OIS stand for?
Officer involved shooting?
Okay, fine. And so there are officers that arrive and they want to find out from you, since you were the one that experienced everything, what happened, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you described the vehicle as a white Honda Pilot, and that was what you perceived at the time.
I did.
And you recall telling the officers that the reason you thought it was a white Honda Pilot was because all you could see was the big H.
Not the H. I remember seeing chrome and an emblem in the center of the chrome.
Okay. But you did speak to officers at the church that night, correct? Or detectives?
Mhm.
And you tried to be as accurate as possible in your details to those detectives.
I did.
Correct. And it would have been fresh in your memory, obviously, because it was the night of, right?
Like I said, it happened within seconds, so I did the best that I could.
But you were describing something that had happened minutes previously, correct?
I did.
Okay. Would it refresh your memory to watch a video of you giving these details to an officer?
Sure.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Judge?
Yes.
And may I approach with counsel?
Yes, sure. Oh, I thought you were approaching the witness.
After you viewed that video, has your memory not been refreshed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you state to them, you stated that you believe it was a Honda Pilot, correct?
I did.
And you said, all I saw was the big H, Honda Pilot. Okay. And I'm sorry, you have to answer.
Yes, sir, I did.
And when you say the H Honda Pilot, you're referring to the Honda logo, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can I approach the witness, Judge?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as defendant's exhibit number 9. So, represent that. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the Honda logo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I've tendered defendant's exhibit 9 to the state's offer evidence.
No objection.
All right, defense exhibit number 9 is admitted without objection.
And officer, I'm now going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 12. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay, is that the suspect vehicle?
The white SUV, I don't know. Sure.
Okay, do we see damage along the backside of that vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna show you what's already been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 35 and State's Exhibit 47. Did those appear to be photographs of the suspect?
From what I recall, seeing it at Bucknell.
And obviously it was during the middle of the night when we saw it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now in State's Exhibit 47 and 35, the front windshield, that doesn't appear to be any sort of illegally dark tint or anything like that, does it? On the front windshield.
No,
It appears to be somewhat regular shade of tint on the windshield.
it looks soft.
Okay, so, and do you recall stating when you gave the statement to the detective that you believed that the white SUV had was of dark tint?
I don't recall
Okay, would it help your refresh your memory if you refer to your state?
that. I mean, it probably appeared to me dark at night. I wasn't able to see the individuals.
Okay, but if you could refer to your work.
Okay. You're asking if I stated that it looked like it had tint on it?
That you believe the vehicle had dark tint,
Do I say specifically the windshield or do I refer, or do you
with
ask?
anything, with a vehicle of dark tint?
May I see those again?
Sure.
So normally when I talk about dark tinting, I talk about the back.
Okay,
So, and there's percentages for tint that it's legal. and
on the
stated.
front and versus the back. Yeah.
So no, normally people don't tint their front.
Okay.
So is that what you're asking specifically, is the windshield?
Oh,
When I refer to it as dark tint, it's like the surrounding and
okay.
not the physical windshield.
Okay, so in yours, is that what you're saying, that in your statement you're referring to the back windshield? Or you're just
I'm
referring
referring to like the sides. The
Okay.
sides of the vehicle
Can you, so
are dark tinted. So I can't see. How this window is down and I can see the silver. If the window was up, it would appear black.
Okay. But in the same vehicle, we can see through the windshield, correct?
The windshield 100%, but the back windows, no.
Okay, are you stating that in your report, you're referring to the back
But
window?
dark tinted windows, that's normal.
Okay, you're not referring to the windshield.
Not that I remember, right?
Okay,
If I specifically said the windshield is tinted dark, I don't know why I would.
okay. In Defendant's Exhibit 12, does that appear to be the same white SUV as the State's Exhibit 35 and 47?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I would tender to the state for any objection in office evidence.
No objection.
And what exhibit numbers, please?
12,
Right. I'm sorry, is that defense exhibit number 12?
this is. I had to get some at the very beginning. I believe those slots should still be open.
All right, if y'all could approach, please.
You didn't know if there was just one driver or if there was a driver and passengers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. You were not able to see if it was male, female, any identifying features or anything like that, correct?
No,
And the report you're referring to out there, is that the report that you typed, or is that the statement you gave to another detective?
this is the report I wrote.
Okay. In this case, you wrote a report, but you also gave a statement, correct?
I mean, I'm talking to the detective and debriefing him about what occurred. And there's other people present.
Okay. Do you recall signing a statement that you gave to the detective?
In homicide, yes, sir.
Okay. Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Okay. So this statement, this is not your report. This is not something that you have to review or identify. Is that correct? This is separate?
Let me verify. Yeah, this is the report that I wrote with the detective at homicide, at state.
Okay. And this is signed by you
Yes, sir.
with your badge number
It is, yes.
and dated May 22nd, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in that statement, you stated that there's no visual sight of the suspect in the vehicle's windows or dark tent, correct?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
No further questions and excused by state, Your Honor.
Is this witness excused?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. If you'll remove the microphone and leave it, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recess for today. We are going to start Monday at 1:30. So again, you'll need to be here by 12:30 to be assured of parking space. We're starting at 1:30 because I have a docket in the morning, and I'm going to cut that docket off at a particular time so I can make sure that we
What a ride. Today wasn't about theatrics. It was about grinding through the details. Every tree, every parking lot angle, every glint of chrome on a car emblem was dissected. That's how justice works in cases like these. Slow, deliberate, meticulous. Was Officer Jaimez a hero under fire, or a man whose fear warped his memory? That's the jury's burden, and maybe yours too. If this breakdown stunned you like it did us, smash that like button, drop your verdict in the comments, and subscribe for more courtroom dissections every week. Because here, the trial never ends when the gavel falls.